This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. A lot of times in my titles, my YouTube titles, my YouTube thumbnails, and others, Pacman does it, Farron does it. It's kind of what you do. You mildly exaggerate. You'll see the word panic a lot, in fact. Trump panics, this panic. What I'm getting ready to show you, if you watch this guy's eyes, this Jason Smith from Missouri, he is now one of the cast of characters surrounding the investigation into Joe Biden. And he really does remind me, when you see him and you hear him, it's like there's like a stack of toddlers inside of a trench coat that's running the operation there, especially when you hear his voice. It's a bummer for you, Jason, that you got a 6-year-old's voice. You don't really denote authority. You don't seem like you got it together. But going back to the panic thing, watch his face during this exchange with this NBC News reporter who's asking questions about the evidence that they have on Joe Biden, the timeline of it, and he's just asking pointed, should be easy to answer questions for people who are now months and months and months into this very real investigation into Joe Biden. But watch his eyes. Watch his face when these questions are being asked. It's panic. It's not like a frenzied panic, like to rush out of the room, but it is, I am on the spot. It absolutely is panic. Watch this and hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
If I'm not mistaken, August 7th, 2020, Bill Barr was the Attorney General and Donald Trump was the president. So explain to me where the two-tiered system of justice comes into play. And then the WhatsApp message you have, I believe, is dated June 6, 2017. Joe Biden is not vice president or even a candidate for president at that time. So where is the direct connection to some sort of criminal malfeasance within these two pieces of evidence?
Well, I think the facts speak for themselves. There's over 700 pages of examples of where people should be very concerned. When you're talking about what was your first question? It doesn't matter who's in the White House. We need to make sure that the Department of Justice works for all people and doesn't treat those who are politically connected or wealthy much differently.
But you suggested that Joe Biden being the president now is unfairly treating Donald Trump in his indictments?
What I'm talking about is the 700 pages that we have before us, which is all the information that came from the IRS whistleblowers.
Can you explain the timing then of the August 6th WhatsApp message? Why is that evidence of some wrongdoing?
I'm not an expert on the timeline. I would love to have President Biden and his family to tell us about all the timelines.
But if he's not the president or the vice president at that time, where's the wrongdoing? He wasn't even a candidate for president at that time.
He was a candidate.
In August 6th of 2017?
Apparently, what source are you with?
I'm with NBC.
So apparently you'll never believe us.
I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm asking you a very direct question. You presented a piece of evidence that you say came on August 6, 2017, that demonstrates that Joe Biden was using political influence to help his son. If he wasn't a political figure at that time, the first WhatsApp message you put up, how does that demonstrate that there's some sort of political influence being put over him if at that time he's not an elected official?
I'm definitely not going to pinpoint one item. I think we've outlined.
You presented it. It was your first thing that you brought up.
So apparently you don't agree with it. So
it's not that I don't agree with it. I'm asking you to explain it.
I'll take the next question.
That's panic. And the Republican, it really does, it's demonstrative of the larger narrative at play here and the larger, the 30,000-foot view of this thing, which is the Republicans are in disarray. They are in panic mode because they see the writing on the wall. Some of them don't. Some of them are true believers and really think that their messaging and their ideologies are resonating with the American people and that it's going to serve them well in 2024. I think the rest of them and the rest of us realize that's not the case. And Jason Smith here, Republican from Missouri, the stack of toddlers in a trench coat, absolutely doesn't have any clue what's happening. He knows that he doesn't have a clue. He knows that they don't have evidence, that he knows that there is no basis whatsoever for impeachment, that this is all a distraction. Like I've said before, as much as they talk about election interference and attempting to put your thumb on the scale during an election year, that's what this is. This is to try to get some kind of inroads into the minds of the American people to convince them that Joe Biden is corrupt or a bad choice to reelect as president of the United States, when they've provided zero evidence that Joe Biden has done anything wrong. I mean, even from a policy perspective, they haven't pointed out this policy has ended in bad results. They just can't do it. I would love your thoughts. If you're from Missouri, if you live in this guy's district, wow. Mix it up in the comments. You can, 714-576-4054 is my phone number. You can call and leave a voicemail there. I'd love to see it. You can email daily@dollemore.com. All those are great ways to get involved in the conversation. Comments, phone number, email. If you appreciate what I do and you want to help support and produce what we do here, you can click the join button below, become a channel member for $2 a month. For that same support, you can go to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast and help support that way. You can click the super thanks button. You can buy some merch. Make sure you're subscribed. Share this video with a friend, a colleague, an acquaintance, a family member, someone who needs to know. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore everywhere. I'd love to see you there. And I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.